Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome back to From the Depths with me, Lathrix, and of course, welcome back to the adventure mode, where today we're going to do some more upgrades to our craft, and then, at very minimum, we're going to be going into the plane of 50 difficulty. Really, probably looking at 60, but 50 is the minimum. Currently, we are in 43 already, so going through one portal will likely get us very close to 50 regardless. Now, the main thing I would really like to do today is figure out how we're going to set up our weapons. At the moment, I've just added an extra railgun to the back. I have been converting the railgun for the last few hours, and I am actually really happy with the results. I've also been in the sandbox mode, testing things out, and one thing I've noticed is I've kind of fallen in love with just pure kinetic shells. The reason is, they're much easier to make faster, and yet they are much more difficult to see as well. They're nice and accurate, and they can very quickly destroy weapons in mere seconds, without making them particularly specialised. These shells, for instance, are now doing 8,000 damage, they have a ludicrous amount of armour penetration, and they are only 250mm. They're not particularly large shells, so they're cheap, they're faster firing than the old ones, and they can just remove armour very, very quickly. I've also been testing out loads of other things. If we just quickly put down the shells so I can give an example. So a quick example of what I'm talking about is, there's two ways I want to set up my shells. These aren't exactly how I'm setting up my shells, this is just an example. The first way is using this head here. This has an extremely high amount of armor piercing, which means it doesn't really get reduced in damage by enemies' armor, almost ever, especially if they're not using heavy armor, which is great, because that means it will destroy a block, it'll have enough damage to continue and normally go through the target, especially since we're using railguns, which means they're very quick and have a lot of kinetic damage, so they go through the target, destroying all their lovely vulnerable innards. The second way is using this, the hollow point head. Now, I've done some testing with this, and I absolutely adore it. First of all, it ignores armor stacking, which means, well, if the enemy has layers and layers of armor, the armor isn't quite as good as it normally is, which is great. But rather than going through the target, it hits a block, it destroys it, and then the remaining damage is passed on to its neighbouring blocks, rather than the shell surviving and going through. This means, especially against medium to smaller targets, you can just break holes in them per shell, which is awesome to watch, but right now I am going to go with the armor piercing value instead, because I think this is going to be really interesting versus larger targets, especially if we get a few good shots on turrets, or in vulnerable sections. We can just, well, surgically remove all their important bits, which generally makes them very unhappy. So we're going with this for now, and I'm considering adding a third turret. Now, I have spent hours converting this thing, trying to get it to, well, a workable state, and I've came to one conclusion. For now, as much as this pains me, I'm going to remove our baby craft. It's almost completely because of one reason though, lag. I don't know what it is, I've tested this out in the sandbox mode. If we have enemies, my game runs fine. If I'm carrying this thing around, or even if it's following me, which by the way I have figured out how to do now, the game just crawls, and it's really unpleasant to watch. So I'm going to try and figure out a way around that, but for now I'm going to scrap it. I will save the design so we can just add it later, and so we can add a third gun, which will be a third railgun here. So one at the back, one at the front, and then one almost at the center of mass. Then I'm going to build a bridge here, and we can add missiles and stuff in all the space we have left. Sorry, buddy. And we could always design our own ship from scratch as well, which a lot of people have shown a lot of interest in, so for now, I'm afraid, it's a goodbye from you. Now, while clearing out all the space, I did accidentally make some kind of statue by mistake, which was kind of interesting to say the least. Apparently this is what happens if you take away half of the original craft. It's kind of amazing that this has been inside of our craft the entire time, and the more you look at it, the weirder it gets. You know, the longer I look at it, the more I feel like it's trying to tell me something. Something subtle. Oh well. Anyway, let's continue, and let's see then what we can do. We have plenty of space here to add the third railgun, and we have... Hello, seagull. And we have more than enough space to armor it up. Need to remove a lot of this wooden armor, which is obviously from the original ships. As you can see here, we have the slope, which I believe was the very first? No, second ship? Yeah, there's so much more to do. Well, my safe room is boring, but it's mostly safe. Needs a bit more armor on the top, though. Eventually, I want an actual bridge so I can see outside, but I've been trying to use the wireless cameras again. I've been using them on turrets and everything else, and I just can't stand them. I really can't. If we need to use third person, we need to use third person. Simple as that, because I can just not stand using the wireless cameras. I don't know why. I just don't like them at all. So, what we're most likely going to have then is the bridge stuff start here, but then sweep back, go up here, and then kind of collapse down and have quite a flat back. Though that is likely in the future. So next then, we have the 3 railguns. Next, I'm going to add some more engines, and we need more battery as well. Just in terms of more battery storage. Also, I'm saying a lot today. Onwards to Turns out, adding a load of heavy armor to the craft makes it significantly heavier. Who would have thought? So I've had to add 1 large internal Daddy blade, and I'm probably going to add some jets at some point, because we're going to be adding more. Right now, we still have 2 almost completely empty areas of the craft, which is going to be for the fuel engines, for resources, and maybe even more weapons in the future, so yeah. Now, one other thing to consider is right now we are significantly slower than we were before. A, we are once again heavier. B, I've had to remove a lot of the internal blades to add this back weapon, so yeah, that's not particularly quick, is it? And this is while we're airborne. Ooh, 28. Nope, that is too slow. I will not accept that, so I will be using some of the space right now to add more movement. Now, originally, this space was going to be used for other things, but instead, what I'm going to do is use this as a battery storage and also for 1 additional Daddy blade. Now, if I wanted loads of Daddy blades in here, that would be the most efficient use of this space in terms of movement. It's really not necessary only to have 1 blade like this, because these blades only really physically exist in the position they're currently in. So you can easily have, let's say, another blade here, and it wouldn't matter. This blade would still work just fine, even though these blades would be going through it. Same with all the blocks I'm placing down. So let's just separate this for now. Then I'm going to have batteries here, and then 1 more layer of armor. Currently there's 2 layers of armor, but I think I'm going to have a quick air gap, and then batteries. Since I really do believe that potentially the best way for us to do this is, rather than trying to keep up with the energy demand, because it's going to be an immense energy demand, have a good amount of storage, which the RTGs can charge up over time whilst we're not in combat. Then in combat, we have more than enough energy to just keep on firing, and hopefully not run out. Now, of course, we do have the engines as a backup in case we do run out, and we are going to add more engines as well, but I think that's what I'm going to go with for the moment. So I've just spent an hour armoring up the innards of this thing and trying to make everything work a little bit better, and I looked at the footage, tried to make it into a time-lapse. Well, I had a quick check if it'd make a good time-lapse, and it absolutely nauseated me. So, nope, we're not going to have a time-lapse yet again, because I build like this, apparently. Yeah, that was utterly horrendous. Now, one other thing I want to mention is I did also test out shells which were both kinetic and explosive, both in terms of armor penetrating then detonating inside the target, or just having the hollow point head and explosives, and loads of other different variations, mostly from people suggesting them, and a lot of them were really, really effective. I just want to use pure kinetic shells, because I never use pure kinetic shells. It's just, I want to test this thing out in a live fire demonstration. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, we go back to blowing things up with glee. Now, we continue to figure out how all of this is going to come together. So I've also now set things up, so if the battery is below 30%, not only do the engines activate, they'll now also be spending 50% of their power to power up our batteries once again. The batteries need energy, not only because, of course, that can give us engine power, but also the railguns and the particle cannons both drain the batteries, and if we have no batteries, we literally can't use either of them. And considering they make up like 90% of our firepower at the moment, that's a pretty big deal, although I am about to start adding some large missiles to the back of this craft. So we now have large missiles, which cost an absolute fortune, but they do have the added benefit of being really, 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 really nasty. I think it's like 50 or 60,000 explosive damage each, and they have loads of health, which means anti-munition systems are going to really struggle with them, or at least they'll start to overwhelm them for our other weapons. But yeah, that's it. This little section here, that costs like 100,000 plus. which is kind of insane. And their reload apparently takes a really long time. Oh, yeah, I think I just heard them reload. Or am I going crazy? They are fun, though. I'm looking forward to explosions. And I'm now realizing we're nowhere near enough resources right now. So, yeah, gonna finish off there, and we're gonna try and destroy some enemies and get some more resources back, because I can't continue to add stuff, because if we take damage right now, I can't even repair one of our main guns. Which is pretty bad. I've also added one small, inefficient engine, so our maximum engine power is now 12,000, rather than 8,000, which is nice. You know, it's an increase, it's a 50% increase, so that's something, but yeah, still need way more engine power than that as our emergency. I have no idea how I'm going to build this bridge. But for now, it's good enough, because I can stand on it. Okay, that's the most I can do for now. I've just cut off this section because it wasn't really providing any armor to the turret in front of us. It was just blocking my view. So, let's increase the difficulty. Okay, we're now in warp difficulty 53, so that is where I think I'm going to stay for a while. Let's see what types of enemies are here, and after 2 or 3 enemies, we might increase the difficulty again. Realistically, we need to keep on increasing it every episode, otherwise it's going to get a bit stale. Also, I have just been building, and the most boring type of building now, for like 4 or 5 hours on this craft, and I just want to destroy things. It is so annoying not to be able to constantly test weapons. In the sandbox mode, oh, here's a weapon, let's spawn in an enemy, do a quick test. No, here we can't do that. I just have to pretend things are being destroyed, and nothing is. Guess who forgot to remove the chains? It was me. Although I think I can just, there we go, we can just retract them at least. We just pretend they're not there. Let's do that. Apparently there's something over there which I can't even see. Any chance one of you is going to hit? The invisible... Oh, yep. One of you definitely at least scratched it. No, you really did more than scratch it. You caused an internal explosion. Send in the new scouting missiles, the ones which cost a fortune. I mean, that seems reasonable to me. Oh, no, we have just, we've killed it. It is dead. I don't know what that is. Not the most terrifying of first enemies. Oh, no, there's something else. The current. Ooh, you look pretty. No idea what you are, though. And you're just kind of getting away from us, so... Oh, really not directly behind us? Because that's annoying. Oh, hello, there's another enemy directly behind us. Which is causing a whole host of problems for us straight away. What am I even waiting for? Well, for a start, I've lost track of where it is. It's somewhere here. There we go. Fire everything, please. The buccaneer. Oh, that's one of the large deepwater guard. Okay, that's a very large deepwater guard, in fact. That's good for us, because it means there it is. At least it means the enemies are much larger here. Lots of blocks being knocked off there. Why are some of our shells wrong? Okay, clearly some of our shells are wrong there. That's something I need to look into. Some EMP hits. That's taking a beating. Look how much damage we've done already to it. Will you go down? Please. Well, you're not fighting back, so you know what? I want a closer look at this thing. Let's go towards it. I mean, we need to scrap it anyway, so... And the other enemy just flew off. I have no idea what happened to that. No! 2 damaged! I wanted to see what you were, like, properly. I know you're Deepwater Guard, but that's about it. Well, either way, we go towards it so that we can get the resources. Ooh, what are you? You have lasers. Yeah, I have no idea what that is. Good. Why did that parcel cannon fire so inaccurately then? I can't remember messing with the particle cannon. Yeah, what's up with that? Either way though, we are hitting it a lot. Our EMP missiles are now landing. Would be nice if we could see what we're firing at, but, you know. It has a really good anti-munition system, so I am glad that I'm using pure kinetic shells here, because they are seemingly getting through. The missiles aren't, but everything else seems to be. That's going down. Oh, it tried to portal away then, so I'm going to assume Scarlet Dawn. Also, once again, going the wrong way. This way's... Wait, no. This way's forward? This way's forward. Yes, okay. My ship isn't weirdly designed, so I can't tell back from forward while I'm sitting up here. Oh, wow, those large missiles just crushed it. But yeah, what was up with that particle cannon? Unless it was damaged. I'll have to take a look at that. So here's what's left of it. Yeah, definitely Scarlet Dawn. Can we knock it out of the air, maybe? I doubt we're going to be able to capture it, but still. Yeah, too damaged. Well. Now, I'll take a look-see at our particle cannon and what on the earth happened to that. We're also now out of energy after fighting off 2 enemies, so... need to be a bit careful for a while. Just sit our butt here, so we can get the resources when it's over. Now, what on earth has happened to you? So I found out what the problem was. I had essentially armored it up incorrectly, so it could no longer turn properly, and because of that, it wasn't able to be as accurate, since the further away you go from where the weapon's aiming, the less accurate it is. So now, it is aiming correctly. Also, I used all of my power doing test fire there, so let's land, so we're using up less energy. And let's recover our power. We found another buccaneer. Let's see if we can get this one to be captured. How do we get this thing to land? Okay, go after those. There we are. Oh yeah, I love these shells. EMP blast right into its core. Let's land ourselves. Oh, please don't actually land on us. Oh, back now. Also, a cylinder is overheating because one of our things got broke. Don't worry about that. Okay, so this is anti-missile missiles, which is really annoying. Get a little bit closer, so if we do destroy its AI, I can jump aboard. If we can capture this, it would be magnificent. Yes, I get it, my cylinders are breaking. Another thing to mention is we can get these shells to fire way more frequently if we want to. It's more an engine issue still. Can you please repair that bloody cylinder thing now? Essentially, the exhaust will be knocked out. Oh, don't fly. Don't do that. Well, sadly, ultimately it was a failure. It was classed as 2 damage, and that was just from the EMP damage, so it must have been really close. But yeah, we are getting so little scrap at the moment. We really need to start trying to capture things a little bit more. Since a few people asked this before, yep, our craft can still be a sub. In fact, it's easier to be a sub now because we have all these Deadly Blade controls. Which just looks weird. Yeah, I do kind of adore how it looks underwater. And back up we go. Well, we found a rather small enemy. Which can apparently fly? What? Okay. Yeah, that damage racks up really quick. We still can fire these a lot faster if we want to, but yeah, this is more than enough right now. And now, finally, I'm going to go and fix that... No, wait, no. I've already fixed the railgun. It still has some of the old shells still in. That's why we're still seeing a few of the explosive shells. Another one of these fellas. Hello. I didn't hit that. Okay, we have enemies which now destroyed themselves. Question mark. A new enemy has appeared. The Endeavour. Let's see what you're like. Also a bit of lag then, so I thought someone else had spawned in, but no, just the Endeavour. Oh, it has flares. The question is, are those anti-radar as well? So far, it's not doing too much damage to us. Just a few bits of metal here and there being chipped off. Nothing really major. Hello! We're explosives! Oh, quite a few chunks. Oh, have we turned off its gun? We might have turned off its gun there. That's good, because that means I can go back out now. It was firing too many small shots. It was just way too dangerous for us to be on the top just there. Oh, it does, however, have a cram cannon. Oh, no! That probably hurt quite a bit. Let's back off. It's missing its face. Okay, that definitely hit the cram cannon, but did it turn it off? I don't know. Ooh. Also, ooh. Oh, well, I don't think it turned off its AI, but it did that. Whee! Oh, no. That's gonna land in the ocean, isn't it? Good chance. Let's land. Apparently that just did 100 EMP damage. How did it do 100? That's gonna fire. Or is it? It's hard to tell. Oh, please don't be too damaged. If it's below 80% health, when it starts sinking, it's gonna be classed as too damaged. No idea how much this is worth, but I'm assuming a good chunk had a lot of armor. That didn't... How did that do 0? Interesting. Feel like this is going to be a bit of a pain to try and capture, because again, if that goes below 80% health, it's going to class as being destroyed. Okay, finally, there it is, AI dead. As I get stuck in the blades, but that shouldn't be too much of an issue, I think. There we are, we've got it. Lovely. Let's see how much it's worth. That took ages, by the way. It kept on going above the water. As in, flying. Oh, there appears to be another enemy over there. Still haven't got the materials yet from the scrapping. There we are. 104,000. That is plenty. And this is the Moray, which I am certain is either an expert or godly of the Deepwater Guard. Bit too far away for our missiles. Oh, maybe our large missiles might be able to make it. Really should have went with the large missiles a lot earlier. Yeah, they're super expensive, but way more fun, and the range is insane. Nope, I don't think I'm gonna quite make it. Oh, that is so insanely close. Okay, let's get airborne so we can get some more speed, and let's go towards it. Ahoy there! Can you stop moving so weirdly, please? Yeah, my shells are going 1,500 meters per second, but still take way too long with that erratic movement. Prepare all weapons. And loose! I still have explosive rounds. I swear I have double checked. It's definitely now set to the correct thing. It's just has loads left in the clips. Still need to fix that cylinder. Seriously? AI dead? Oh. I didn't expect that to completely destroy it. Well, poop. EMP. Just EMP. I wonder what large missiles filled with EMP would be like then. Yep, those torpedoes. Really need to stop those firing when I fight all weapons. Oh well. Well, not a huge amount, but still, not going to turn down 13k. The Morningstar from the Grey Talons has appeared, and is lobbing lots of cram at us. Let's try and dodge that if we can. Lob some EMP. Oh! Good night. It's like someone has turned it off. I mean, that's essentially what the EMP did, but you know what I mean. Like, it was being held with a string, and then... Nope. Well, let's go and say hello to the Morningstar. No! No, it's below 80% health. It's just about floating. Please. Oh, there's no chance for getting this. EMP can be so strong against enemies which aren't specifically designed around it. It is insane. I can't believe I've used EMP so little in the campaigns and such. I really haven't. I'm trying to think back when I last used EMP as a main, or even secondary weapon, outside of the adventure mode, and I can't really think of one. I'm sure I have. I'm sure someone's going to correct me, but I just can't remember myself, so it mustn't have been too much. Or, once again, it's just me forgetting. Seems to be floating now, so that's good. Now, it was hit with a couple of missiles before the EMP hit it, which admittedly will contain a little bit of EMP. But I can't believe it's below 80% health. I must have really hit something vital. Okay. Loosening the small missiles. A lot of EMP damage. Did it work? No. How did it drop like that, though, and not be AI dead? I have no idea what happened. Oh, unless it has multiple AIs. Yeah, maybe it has a less vital one, which is still alive. Try to. Oh, there we go. Yep, AI dead. I really need to change the placement of those rotors. Oh, that's lovely. I mean, this is hardly damaged. Okay, I want to see what this looks like when it's fully repaired in our colours. Ooh, although we're going to need to move quickly because it's about to ram us. Not quite. Please stop intersecting with us. Oh, we're going to break the game, aren't we? And by we, I mean me, obviously. Okay, I'm trying to hold it really far away now. I should fix it regardless. Oh, this is horrendous. Why did I do this? Okay, there we are, after all that is said and done. Oh, I love this thing. And yet, it is really just guns. We can almost use this like a turret. If we flip this... Okay, bear with me here. If we flipped this and had it on the bottom of our craft, we could totally use that as a turret. Because, look at it, it's just cram cannons. It would serve us as a weapon rather than a true ally. Also, it looks good in our colours. Which look really pinky at the moment, I have to say. Oh, it's coming back online, and it is firing at something. Problem is, we can't use our scouting missiles right now, since I'll just devastate what's on top of us. Oh. Oh, that's a lot of shots. Okay, we need to get inside right now. Not zooming in, as in not moving the camera to cheat it. There we are. Don't know what it is, but fire as soon as you can, please. It's a lot of flak. Oh, look, our friend's helping. Oh, we killed it. Okay, let's have a quick look, see what it was then. I don't know. Oh, our ally has EMP. Oh, wait, no. Did I fire my regular missiles? No, it could be my underslung missiles. But yeah, we could totally just bring it with us like this. Just keep its weapons online and just have it there. Also, and here's the funny thing, we could use it as our detection system. I wouldn't need to build a detection system if I ever bring any AI onto the main ship, if this is permanently here and seeing for us and then transmitting to us. But the problem is the lag. Even now, it's slowing down somewhat. I think it's something to do with holding the craft. It seems to cause some kind of slowdown. Though, again, I did figure out how to get this to work, as lots of you pointed out, so I say I figured out, it's more people told me repeatedly. If you have them in the fleet like this, you can have fleet move and then it will work. I did some testing with the other craft. It's also a good warning system, because it starts firing anything nearby. And I do really, really like it, and I do want to see how it works. Is the cram cannon on the bottom an actual turret, or is that a... Oh, no, looks like a turret. I was about to say, or is it just made to look like that? Let me see inside you. Where's the turret pit? Oh, there it is. Oh, it's all contained in the turret cap. Okay, so it doesn't go inside the body at all. In fact, by the looks of things, that's true for pretty much all of their weapons. Okay, how much are you worth? 120k, a little bit less than I expected. So for its cost, I think this thing's really good. I mean, I think it looks amazing, regardless of cost. But in terms of efficiency, it wasn't particularly difficult to kill. But oh, look at the tiny little room here. And the little teleporty. And great rum. It has great rum. It has rum. Well, I'm sold. Well, with that, I'm afraid I really am all out of time for today's video. I did want to do a bit more in terms of fighting and everything, but I've spent like 7 hours without recording, sorting things out, and then hours in this video sorting other things out, and yeah, getting footage can be difficult sometimes. In the next video, we're just going to be focusing on fighting. No real building or anything like that. If we do anything, it's going to be just messing around with this. If I do keep it, I'm not sure if I will, but we're definitely going to go through some more red portals. I've been told 50 plus really is where you start seeing different designs, and that has definitely been true. I mean, look at this thing. This is much larger than a lot of the craft we've been seeing. We haven't seen a single Marauder or that style of craft, which is really, really nice in terms of that difficulty. So clearly 50 plus is when we're seeing the experts, I think. I know the Moray is either an expert or a godly. In fact, I'll check that in a moment. But I do want to see larger craft. I want something which really puts us in danger. I know it's silly to say that. And our craft isn't really that good. It's expensive and it's silly and it's oversized, but it's not that great, really. Because I have to keep on bearing in mind that I'm manually controlling things, otherwise I'd go with a lot more silly weapons, but it is built how it is built and it's a lot of fun to use. So with that, thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed today's video, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that From the Depths is a series you wish to see continued in the future. In the next video, we might lose our friend straight away, we might keep it, but we're definitely going to go to higher difficulties to really put ourselves to the test. And apparently, this branch, the unstable branch, is soon to be going to the live branch, which means we're starting the main campaign soon. Thank you, and goodbye.